What is going on, everyone? Welcome to 24/7 Football, and we were meant to be doing a website podcast this week. Technical difficulties got in the way. Peter Moore couldn't get on Skype, so we're going to do it next week instead of just doing one without him. But while I've got the two editors from the website here, which is Adam Stevens and Jonathan Walker, why not talk about the elephant in the room of every room in the footballing community at the moment, which is Lionel Messi. Where will he end up? I mean, I hope it's at Man City. We all know I hope it's at Man City. We've probably all seen the video that I did the other day. I was like a little schoolgirl. But we're going to be talking through what Messi would bring to a football team. Should a team like Manchester City or PSG go for Lionel Messi? And just what he brings in that sense as well. I mean, for me, it perfectly outlines that Messi is probably the biggest sporting icon on the planet. I think there's been nearly 11 million tweets in 24 hours since he handed in his transfer request at Barcelona. I mean, I'd never want to compare the two players because I think they're both brilliant. But to compare that, Cristiano Ronaldo had 800,000 when he left Real Madrid. And I suppose it's a little bit of a shock to the system that a player like Messi could leave Barcelona after all this time. Adam, obviously you're a United fan. Firstly, when a player like Messi comes on the market, who's not going to want him?
I think it's very difficult to not. I think he'd walk into any team basically. I mean, I saw him. I was lucky enough to actually see him play once at the Nou Camp back in 2016, and it was just when he got presented with one of his many. I think it's one of 6 Ballon d'Ors, and unfortunately, I only got to see him play for 45 minutes, but it was one of the best 45 minutes I've witnessed. And Barca went on to win the game 6-0 against Bilbao, and it was worth every penny. I mean, weirdly, we were surrounded by Irish and Brentford fans, unlike Barca fans, but still, it was a great experience. Great experience. I think in terms of where he'd likely end up, I think it would be interesting if he ended up at Juventus with Ronaldo. I mean, that would be an intriguing proposition, but the wage bill would be astronomical. I think PSG are one of the favourites because obviously you've got Neymar and Mbappe, but then as George mentioned, also you've got City with Guardiola reunion there. I would obviously love to see him at United. Whether Woodward can pull his finger out and actually sign anybody, I don't know.
There's no way. Woodward's offering like 20 million installments and Phil Jones to Lionel Messi.
Well, who wouldn't want Phil Jones? That's the thing.
That's true. Barca are in dire needs defensively. Phil Jones would probably plug that gap. I mean, Jonathan, does Messi get into Nottingham Forest team first of all?
Yeah. I've got to say, yeah. If we get into anybody's team, like you said, personally, love to see him in the Premier League, just because Premier League fans will get to see him more regularly than when he was in the Liga, so get more exposure to Premier League and British fans. And the most likely destination for me personally would be City, because firstly, obviously Guardiola. He's worked for Guardiola before at Barca. There's a connection there, and they are the kind of, even though Liverpool won the league, City are kind of the team that go for like bigger names, and have got bigger names in their squad, as to say, and the way the style of play would be more down to Messi, in my personal opinion. So that's the most likely, I would say.
Yeah, I think you bang on it in terms of adding Messi into a team like Man City. It almost seems like a little bit of a cheat code. I know they finished second, but the squad depth, they've already got brought in Ferran Torres, Nathan Ake, possibly Koulibaly and Lionel Messi. But I think it's something that I spoke about in the video, is that I think Messi has sort of been on Man City's radar ever since the takeover happened, and I think they've almost the club's been moulded on Barcelona anyway, particularly during Pep Guardiola, because I think they moulded themselves as a club to suit Pep, to get him in further down the line. You know, you've got Tiki Bergestein, Ferran Soriano, all key figures from that golden era at Barcelona in which Messi was prevalent in that team. So I think it does. I think it moulds well for him to go down that route. One thing that I wanted to discuss was, with Ronald Koeman coming in as Barcelona manager, is it a blessing in disguise for Barcelona that Messi wants to leave? I know we're talking about the greatest player for me to ever play the game. Adam probably has a different view on that one. But I mean, he's 33 years of age, and it almost seems like Messi holds too much power at Barcelona, and they're definitely a squad that needs a rebuild. You know, we see Luis Suarez and the likes of Busquets seem to be leaving out of the door. And if you get rid of Messi, does that give Koeman full access to fully rebuild a squad how he wants to do it? Or do you think Barcelona still need Messi, Adam?
That's an interesting question. I personally would, in some ways, it would be a blessing, as you kind of pointed out, if Messi were to leave Barcelona, because it almost gives Koeman a kind of clean slate, as it were. Like, if they say manage to get some money for him, he could rebuild and get 3 or 4 players, 5 players in his sort of image, and maybe they could have a real go at the Champions League next season and try and challenge the likes of Bayern Munich, PSG. And as you mentioned, Messi is now, he's 33. He's got another, I would say, a couple of years at the highest level. He's not going to go down the route of, I wouldn't have thought, going to the MLS or Japan like what Iniesta did, or Qatar like I think it was Xavi ended up going there as well. It's a difficult question, I think. I think that it almost feels like there is an end of an era at Barcelona, as it were. Like PK, he might be going as well. You don't know. I think they almost need a kind of sort of start again.
And with that, do you think that's the perfect place maybe for Messi to leave?
I think so. He's been there almost 2 decades, to be honest. So I think I don't want to really start comparing the two. I would still say Ronaldo is better than Messi.
Oh, give it a rest. We're not going to get into it, but give it a rest.
I just because he's played in different leagues, like he's challenged himself in the Premier League, and he's been in Serie A now. He's done well there. Whereas Messi's only ever been at Barcelona, and he's had 2 of the best midfielders supporting him in Xavi and Iniesta up till the last few years. So I think he does need to test himself in another league before you kind of call him the best ever. But that's just my opinion. But
I mean, I'm the same as you. I've seen Messi play a few times, and it's just mesmerising to watch. It is mesmerising to watch. Jonathan, do you think, like we've just discussed, do you think it could be a blessing in disguise for Barcelona?
Well, I don't think losing Lionel Messi can ever be a positive thing, no matter how old he is and if he is past his best, maybe. But on the other side, I do think Barca do need a kind of a refresh. You see how they got thrashed by Bayern Munich so easily. The team does need a refresh, and getting that income from this transfer would be a way of bringing in new players. So that would be a positive side, but it wouldn't be the defining it as a positive general overall move for Barca, because he's still arguably one of the best players, the best player in the world.
Jonathan, he's the best. He's the best to ever play the game. Just in terms of, I know we were discussing it before we came on, and this is something that we need to address, is that obviously Messi is sort of in a little bit of a legal limbo with Barcelona, because he has a clause in his contract that allows him to leave for free at the end of every season up to a certain point. But he argued that because the season was extended due to coronavirus, he couldn't really leave before the end of a league campaign in the Champions League. So his clause should be extended and legally has been extended as well. So that's the legal limbo that he's in. So at the moment, it's looking like a team would be able to get him for free, but maybe they may have to pay. What is the most that you would pay for Lionel Messi, Jonathan, given that he's 33 years of age? But on the balancing act, how much money is he going to bring in terms of marketing? Because we all know that loads of people will want a Messi shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I would still pay like the 100 up to 100 mil for him, because that's kind of be the rate for the best players at this moment is around that 100 mil mark. I mean, if you're looking at the Sancho transfer, I think, I don't know the exact fee of what they're asking, but again, it's up in those kind of range, which is what every top player seems to be going for. So I don't see why Messi should be any different to that.
Do you know what? I fully agree with that as well. That's not something that I've actually thought about, in the fact that Jadon Sancho, we're talking 120 million, and I know we're talking longevity because he's only 20 years of age and he's a ridiculously good footballer. But Messi's still a better footballer than Jadon Sancho at this moment in time. He's probably still one of. You've got Lewandowski up there, but he's probably still, for me, the best footballer on the planet.
I mean, Neymar went for about 200 million, I think it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and he wasn't the main guy at Barcelona at the time as well, going to PSG, and he didn't. For me, when I watched the Champions League final the other day, he didn't quite deliver on the big stage. It's sort of like Mbappe. You look at him, he didn't quite sort of step up to the mark when PSG needed him the most. But it was quite a scrappy game, that particular final. Even though I thought it was going to, well, I think like we all did, we thought it was going to be high scoring, 3-4, because it's two of the best. It was two of the best attacking teams in Europe at the time as well, going at it. So.
I mean, we look at the rate that. I mean, it's exactly the same age that Cristiano Ronaldo left Real Madrid. He's 33 at the time, and he went for 100 million to Juventus. But the main part of that deal was that Juventus made that back in, I think it was the first 3 days, in terms of merchandise and shirt sales and stuff like that, which is a ridiculous fee. And you're probably going to see that again with Messi. So do you think it's a smart move, whichever team decides to invest that much money, should they have to pay Adam?
I think ultimately it will be, even if you only get 1 or 2 good seasons out of him, I think you will get that back within shirt sales, as you've alluded to, and like the amount of experience and quality he'd bring to any side. I think it is definitely worth it. I personally would pay a bit less for it, but I still think he's a very good footballer. But.
Jonathan, how does he get on in the Premier League for you? If he were to come to the Premier League, which may happen.
Yeah, no reason why he wouldn't flourish, to be honest. I mean, if City are desperate to win the Champions League, then that's almost like the perfect place to achieve that. To that next goal and win the league, Premier League again. It's the perfect. He's done it and been there, done it. Big Champions League finals before. Won the league, don't know how many times.
He's won it a ridiculous amount of times.
Yeah.
But has he done it internationally?
And he's the type of player who will.
Has he done it? We're not getting onto this, Adam. Let Jonathan speak.
Yeah, so I was saying he's the type of player who will produce in the big finals and be that next step to winning the Champions League. City, along with a new defender or two.
Yeah. I mean, it's scary, isn't it? It is scary. I mean, as much as I'm a City fan, it is very scary in the fact that City could have a Koulibaly and a Messi in the same transfer window. But it's difficult because a lot of people talk about Messi being 33 years old. Maybe not done it enough for some people on the international front, but it's hard when you've not got a great, especially defensive team behind you. But 33 goals this season, 26 assists. you know, we're calling, and I don't, again, I'm not making direct comparisons, but Kevin De Bruyne has had, for me, one of the most influential seasons that I've seen from a midfielder. And he's still not even got as many assists in all competitions as Lionel Messi, on top of 33 goals. I mean, if other players do that, it sort of gets downplayed, doesn't it, Adam?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, if a Messi and a Ronaldo score that many goals, it's almost, we see it as normal now,
Yeah,
don't we?
it's normal.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. Anyway, about Lionel Messi, where he ends up, we don't know. Thank you for Jonathan for coming on, and Adam as well. He's had to run off, but I think it's because he knows that Messi's the best player of all time, so that's where he's gone. But thank you everyone for watching today. Just a little bit on Messi there. Who doesn't like talking about that wizard? So subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Like the video as well. Check out our website 247football.com. This one's not going away. We'll follow it throughout the summer. We'll see you next time.